Hello, it's your boy 4Piece, and today I'm gonna be breaking down my favorite top 10 One Piece arcs, bro. And before we get into it, of course, you know what? Like, share, sub, turn on noties for your boy. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys missed my last video where I talk about Blackbeard and why I think he's one of the greatest pirates to have ever lived, link in the description. Great video. Anyway, let's get straight into this, bro. My number 10 favorite arc in all of One Piece is the Syrup Village. Okay, bro, the Syrup Village is one of my favorite arcs in all of One Piece. Okay, I understand some of you could be like, oh, what are you talking about? Listen, this arc got me into One Piece. This arc was the one that made me stay, because you know that One Piece, it has a slow start, you know, at the beginning, but once you start to really get into it, yo, it keeps you addicted. And this arc got me addicted to Captain Kuro of the Black Cat Pirates. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my blacks. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the blacks, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kuro. You know what I'm saying? And I like this whole Edward Scissorhands gimmick and him cutting down the trees and stuff, and him trying to use Kaya to get, to get the money out of her, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then having, Usopp being this liar or whatever, meeting Usopp for the first time. It was funny meeting this guy for the first time. The guy was weird, So yeah, I love the Syrup Village, one of my favorite arcs, and definitely in my number 10 spot. Now, in my number 9 spot, Baratie arc. Oh, okay, I messed up that whistle. That was ass. But the Baratie arc is one of my favorite arcs. I know some of you might not like it or whatever, but yo, listen, real One Piece fans love this arc. We love this arc, okay? Meeting Sanji, understanding who Sanji is, and then having that iconic moment with Zoro versus Mihawk, and Zoro was like, yo, nigga, I ain't not losing ever again. I'm not losing, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was not gonna lose. And I was so happy hearing Zoro, do that, even though he lost to Mihawk, and Mihawk, he's just different. Have mercy on me, okay? And meeting Mihawk for the first time. And then, of course, you have Luffy versus Don Krieg, and that was a pretty good fight, too. That was a pretty good fight, okay? And then seeing Mihawk slice the entire ship as well, like, yo, Mihawk is that guy, wow. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Mihawk. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get into number 8, man. And that is going to be Impel Down. Oh yeah. Anybody that knows, I know some of you might even say this arc is too low on your list, J4Piece. Okay? You might be too low. And in my opinion, it's not that low. Hold on, it's not that low to me, all right? Because I think these next arcs are very great for different reasons. But Impel Down, it's a great arc, okay? The whole thing of Luffy finding about, yo, Ace is he's in Impel Down, I'm trying to get him. Then he finds out when he gets there, he breaks in. He finds out that, well, he doesn't fully break in. Hancock gets him in there, but you get the point. Like, he finds out that Ace left and he's going to be taken to the execution thing. So now Luffy's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, we might have to, I think we might have to actually get out now, and then Luffy had this little arc where he was fighting Magellan, and Magellan took him out, and Luffy was basically about to die, but then what's his name? What's his name? What's the guy's name? Oh my goodness, the guy, the gay guy, you know that nigga, what's that nigga name? What's that guy name? Oh my, I forgot the guy's name, but he was goated. The guy saved Luffy, you know what I'm saying? He drained all the things out of him. Pause. But you get the point, right? You know what I'm saying? And after that, they're fighting all the way out of Impel Down, and Luffy encounters Blackbeard, and then he fights Blackbeard, and then and then they're trying to escape Magellan, and then him and Mr. 2, or I don't know if it was Mr. 2 or Mr. 1. Was it Mr. 2? The guy with the candles. Yeah, it was Mr. 2 or Mr. 3. I don't remember, right? But they combined together to try and fight off Magellan. Like, that entire arc was insane. Like, and we met some Zoans for the first time or whatever. Like, incredible arc. One of my favorite arcs in all of One Piece. The entire thing was just straight up disaster. You kind of felt like Luffy didn't have time. You thought Luffy was not gonna make it at some points, because you seen Luffy, he lost at Sabaody. You know what I'm saying? So like, we're kind of like, yo, like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get straight into the next one. Number 7, Skypiea, bro. Oh my gosh. Now, I know some of you may not even have this on your top 10 list. I know a lot of people don't. I know some people in the One Piece community, they say, oh, you need to skip Skypiea. If you skip Skypiea, You sniff narcotics, okay? You sniff narcotics every day of the week. You have no sense of life. I don't care what. You could fight. We could fight. Like, me and you could fight right now. Like, let's go. All right? But let me tell you something about Skypiea, okay? The reason why it's one of my favorite arcs, okay, is the unique environment, okay? I did not think a Skypiea would exist in a pirate world, but it did, okay? It was a lot more different compared to the other arcs. We learned about hockey for the first time, okay? Then, of course, we learned about the backstories of, well, not the backstories, but we seen like the Skypiea people and how they live, and seeing the god Enel using Ologia and seeing how powerful Ologia is for like the second time, because there was Alabasta, but yes, the second time was the first time and the second time, I don't remember, but it was one of those times, you know what I'm saying? And I know it was crazy. He was very powerful, one of my favorite villains in all of One Piece, in my opinion. And yeah, and of course the lore behind it too. The lore behind Skypiea is insane. The moon, the fact that Roger and his crew came there as well, you know what I'm saying, and the fact that there's an entire back history of the Skypiea people. And I'm not trying to mention any spoilers here, no spoilers, but there's been a lot of hints and stuff about it, about the Skypiea people in these recent chapters. If you guys have been following One Piece right now in the manga, I'm not trying to spoil too much anything right now, but yeah. Anyway, let us get into number 6. The Land of Wano. Okay, now some of you might even have this in your top 5, okay? And I know some people, there's a huge criticisms of Wano, and me too, I've critiqued Wano too, but over time, okay, I've learned to really not just learn but enjoy Wano. I've enjoyed Wano, and I think the highs in Wano are very, very high. Okay, they're very, very high in this. First of all, the battles, okay, Luffy unleashing Gear 5, like fight me, what, like you're not competing with that. You're not competing with Gear 5. That's one of the most hypest anime moments ever. Like, and the transformation caught us all of us off guard. Look how incredible that transformation is. Incredible. Okay, and then of course the lore behind Wano. Now, if you guys haven't watched some of my last videos, I have two Land of Wano videos. One where I break down Odin's death, and it was based off a true story. That will be the link in the description if you guys didn't actually watch that. That's one of my favorite videos. And of course, one of my also favorite videos is me breaking down the Land of Wano itself and basing it off of an actual true story and the inspiration behind it. So if you missed that one, that'll be the link in the description as well, if you guys want to understand the Land of Wano lore a bit more, and how, you know, and that's why Land of Wano to me is one of my favorite arcs in One Piece right now. It's one of the greatest arcs in my opinion. The lore behind it, I know there's some, it dragged down a little bit. I think there was too much characters that were being too much introduced, but other than that, I think everything behind it was beautiful. Being Tama, the little nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like the little nigga, shout out to Tama, you know what I'm saying? And you have Yamato, of course, and then you have you know, the iconic moments of Zoro, Law, and Kid. You had you know, King, the Queen, the villains, you know, Kaido. All the villains were incredible. You know, Ulti, shout out to Ulti, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? So, and of course Luffy, he was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. So yeah, one of my favorite arcs in all of One Piece, and that's why I have to put on number 6. And at number 5, Arlong Park. Oh la 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 la. Arlong Park is an incredible arc. Okay, one of my favorite arcs. I think this arc was whoa. Okay, that was the reaction I had, was whoa. Okay, whoa, like whoa. Okay, this arc made me love One Piece. This was the arc that made me like, I will give you my semen and you can get pregnant. You are my life. Okay, that's what Arlong Park did to me. Alright, the whole dramatic thing of understanding Nami's abuse as a child, and understanding how she lost her adopted mother, and the fact that, you know, Arlong, he came and started extorting people and killing people for not paying up and shit, you know what I'm saying? And him being basically racist as fuck, I ain't gonna lie, you know, I can't blame him, to be honest, for being racist because of what happened to his own people, but still, you know what I'm saying, the guy's fucked up. Alright, and you had the whole backstory between her and her, you know, whatever. She was forced to draw maps and shit. And then you have the other things, like, for example, you had what's it called? You have Usopp finally beating his first op, finally, okay? Not being a pussy. Alright, then you had Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro fighting, you know what I'm saying? And Luffy versus Arlong was crazy. The finisher was insane. What's that move called? Battle Axe or something? Thor Axe, and he just stomps this nigga like, yo. Like, bro, one of my favorite arcs ever. And this the arc that made me really embrace One Piece. Also, before we get into number 4, I just want to say I'm gonna be making a top 10 favorite arcs of Naruto as well. I will be making that because I talk about Naruto and One Piece on this channel. So you know what I'm saying? Like, if you guys like Naruto and One Piece, show your boy. And I might talk about other animes as well in the future. So stay tuned. Anyway, let's get straight into the next one. Alabasta at number 4. I'm sorry. Yeah. Do I need to explain Alabasta? Well, yeah. But Alabasta was an incredible arc. Okay, understanding who Vivi was and how she was a princess, and how what's his name? Oh my goodness, Crocodile. He was gonna take over the whole shit, and how he was gonna like boot, like, oh my goodness, like the guy was a great. Was so great. He was such a great villain. He took out Luffy at one point as well. He took out Luffy, and like I thought Luffy was gonna pass away or some shit. Like I actually thought Luffy might die. Like okay, but like, you know what I'm saying, and then Luffy comes back, and then he tries to fight Crocodile again, and then he loses again. Oh my goodness, like the amount of times he fought Crocodile and lost, and then the third time he pulled up and he won. But it's not just his fight against Crocodile too. The other fights, you know, Zoro versus what's his name, Daz Bones, I think that's his name. Or no, not Daz Bones, that's not, what is that his name? Daz Bones, the guy with the what's it called, the swords? What's it called? The swords, Mr. 2, I forgot the guys. Mr. 1, I think. I don't remember his name, but he had the guy who was the guy with the blades. He beat that nigga. Okay. Then you had one of my underrated fights was Tony Chopper and Usopp versus those two other guys. They were like badgers or something, going underground and shit and trying to fight or whatever. That was a good fight too. I like that fight personally. I really love that fight. So a lot of the fights in Alabasta were amazing, and that definitely has to be in my number 4 spot. And the whole story behind it and everything, and Cobra and everything, it's incredible. And transitioning to number 3, okay, Egghead. Oh my gosh. Now, Egghead to me was one of my favorite arcs in. Wow, it was literally one of the most recent arcs. I know the Egghead arc in the anime is not finished yet. Will I spoil some of it for y'all? Yeah, I'm gonna spoil it. So if you guys don't want any spoilers, fast forward to number 2, alright? But I'm gonna spoil it a little bit for y'all if you haven't watched fully of Egghead. Okay, but Egghead to me, incredible arc. Everything about it was incredible. Okay, seeing Luffy fight as a Yonko for the first time, seeing the storyline of Law getting clapped, seeing Kid getting clapped, like, like, bro, seeing Blackbeard in action finally after years, seeing Blackbeard actually like in action, bro. Oh my god. Okay, and then seeing Shanks fight too, like, oh my god, like, oh my god, like, you know what I'm saying? And then we see the Gorosei coming for the first time, all of them. I know, spoilers, guys. All of them are fighting for the first time, bro. Oh my god, seeing Gear 5 Luffy being more advanced, Luffy fighting Kizaru, that revenge fight. Oh my goodness. And anybody that says, oh, Luffy, he was trash against Kizaru, fight me. We could fight. Luffy was that nigga. We could fight. I also broke down that fight as well. You guys could watch that too. I'll be looking in the description as well. I broke that down too. But anyway, back into this, right? Then you have what's it called, Bonnie's backstory, and then having we met Vegapunk, okay, and then you had Kuma's backstory, which was even more Kuma, man, beautiful, one of the greatest men of all time. I don't care, but I don't give a fuck if he's fictional. That's one of the greatest men of all time, man. Shout out to Kuma, man. Oh my god, that's a beautiful backstory, beautiful. All right. And yeah, Egghead was incredible, and that's why it's in my number 3 spot. Now, number 2. Now, I think number 2 and number 1 could be interchangeable, very interchangeable. Okay, I think all top 5 could be interchangeable, because I think all 5 of these arcs that I just ranked were incredible. So these next 2 here, are I think very interchangeable. I think these are equal. But at number 2 for me, I'm gonna put Water 7 / Enies Lobby, because I'm putting both of them together. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie to you. This is if you want to talk about peak fiction, this is peak fiction. This is peak fiction. This is a must-watch arc. Sorry, both arcs. Okay, I think it's 2 and 1. I don't know what it is. It's both. I don't care. Okay, Water 7. It was incredible. Okay, understanding who Robin was, trying to find out her trying to disappear from the Straw Hats. Okay, them finding Water 7 looking like fucking Italy. You know what I'm saying? The entire environment in and of itself was beautiful. Okay, that's one of the best things about One Piece, is that every arc seems so different. Okay, and there's a lot of arcs I didn't include in this top 10 list, which are also incredible, but you know, it's pretty hard. The One Piece has too many good arcs. Okay, but anyway, back to this. You know, you meet the guy for the first time, and you know what I'm saying, he has his own construction thing, and he almost gets assassinated by CP9, and then CP9 shows up, and you see Lucci, you see Bueno, you see other niggas, Job Run, all the niggas, and you realize how powerful they are, and they beat up Zoro and whatever, and they beat up Luffy. You know what I'm saying? And then the Water 7 gets flooded and shit, and they escape, and then they fight then they're on the train or whatever, and then Sanji and them are fighting niggas on the train and shit, trying to catch up to Robin. Okay, and then on top of it, they go all the way to Enies Lobby, and that's where we get to see the big government base. And man, Enies Lobby was too fucking iconic, bro. Like, them breaking it down, them going in and whatever, and then Luffy fighting Bueno and beating him, and then Luffy unleashing Gear 2 for the first time, and that was an iconic moment. Gear 2, the iconic moment. That's what I'm saying. Like, too many great moments, bro. Too many great moments. And then them fighting, you know, CP9, all of them fighting CP9. All the fights were fire. All the fights were fired. There was no boring fights in any one of them. All of them are entertaining. Seeing Tony Chopper unleash his monster form for the first time and going fucking berserk. You know what I'm saying? Seeing Luffy fighting Rob Lucci. Seeing Zoro fight Kaku and destroying him with Ashura. Seeing, you know, Sanji using Diablo Blade. Yeah! You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, seeing Frankie fight for the first time with his panties. You know what I'm saying? Seeing Sogo King fight niggas. Like, yo, the whole shit was fire. See Nami fight too, like, dog, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then of course the I want to live moment with Robin. Oh my goodness, like, yo, incredible arc. Oh my goodness, man, beautiful arc, and definitely number 2. Oh my god, well, it could be number 1 to be honest. So I have mercy, but number 1 for me is going to be Marineford. Oh yeah, I know. We could fight. All of us can fight. Like, you know, all of us could actually fight. Like, these two arcs here is very debatable. Marineford I think everything was perfect. Everything was perfect in Marineford. We got to see everybody fight. Mihawk, Hancock, you know what I'm saying, Vista Cock.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Like, you know what I'm saying, Ace Cock.
Hey yo, chill.
Cock, like, all them niggas cocks, bro. Like, every them niggas was hard as shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, but you get the point. Like, all them niggas was crazy. Like, all of them are incredible. Okay, everything was fighting. You know, the admirals, we saw the admirals fighting as well. We saw Son Goku unleash his powers. We see Blackbeard kill Whitebeard and take his devil fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we seen Garb get punched. Okay, and him try to be held back because he killed Ace. Man, Ace's death, man. Man, he turned into a Dunkin' Donut, man. No, I saw through him. No. Oh my goodness. Oh man, but Akainu was ferocious too, man. I love Akainu, man. That nigga was ferocious as hell. And then Kizaru, man, with his lazy justice or whatever. And then you have Kuzan, who was just cold, man. Kuzan was just cold, man. You know what I'm saying? Then the whole story behind it. You see Luffy trying to save Ace, and then Luffy breaking down and crying like. So it was a beautiful, man. Seeing Jinbei take care of him and help him and save him, and Law saving him too. Like, just so many great things about the arc. Even the way they popped in, even the way they entered Marineford, that shit was funny. Them falling out the sky and everything. That was the guy's name, the gay guy. What's the gay guy name? Ivankov. Shout out to Ivankov, bro. Ivankov, he kept giving Luffy the what's it called, the energy needles to keep him going. Ivankov was so good. One of my favorite characters in the entire arc, man. Ivankov was crazy as fuck, though. You know what I'm saying? So like you have all these people, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? That having the pacifistas and everything, like, oh man, great arc. Just great arc, man. I could, like, wow, beautiful. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, my top 10 rankings of One Piece and of all the arcs of that I personally like more than all the others. I know there's some other ones like Sabo OD, you know what I'm saying? I think you have the Snow one as well with Tony Chopper and them. So many great arcs in One Piece, man. I couldn't fit them all together. I know Dressrosa, I know Whole Cake Island is there too, but I don't know. I think these arcs that I named out were some of my favorites and some of the standouts that really made me appreciate One Piece and really made me love One Piece. And this is, you know what I'm saying, like. And yeah, anyway, share your top 10 list down below. I want to know what you guys think. How do you guys feel about this list, and how do you guys would rank this list, or you guys have a whole different list or whatever, and let me know. And I will be making a Naruto top 10 version of this, so hey, stay tuned. Anyway, stay safe, stay blessed, and yeah, peace.